Sci-fi promised us infinite alien possibilities and delivered painted humans and soup. Hear me out, because I was watching Project Hail Mary and it made me think a lot about aliens in movies. Because even good sci-fi is often really lazy when it comes to alien biology. In film and TV, there are basically two options. Option one, aliens are basically just humans with one setting changed. Like, of course, Star Trek. What if humans were logical? Like, great, wow, what an imagination. I love Star Trek, but come on. And by the way, I can totally tell that it's just a dude in elf ears. In most sci-fi, it's the same body plan every time. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 5 fingers. 5 fingers in terms of evolution is so random. Even mammals pretty closely related to us don't necessarily have 5 fingers. And even with the preservers in Star Trek guiding evolution to get humanoids, if one species has copper-based blood like the Vulcans, that's a whole different fish that crawled out of that ocean to evolve into them. They're not gonna automatically end up with 5 fucking fingers, let alone be compatible for making hybrid babies such as Spock. Humans can't reproduce with each other if there's a single mismatched protein. But sure, a different species from a different planet, I guess that's fine. I mean, pigs are so genetically close to us that we can take organ transplants from them. But they have 4 toes on each foot, and we sure as hell can't make babies with them, so stop trying, you weirdo. And then there's option 2. You go the full opposite. It's a 7 billion year old shimmering blob of goop. You can't possibly comprehend it. So you didn't even write an alien, you just dodged the question? You wrote a smoke machine with a body count? Some good stories came out of that, but it is dodging the question. And that's basically the whole spectrum. A guy with makeup or cosmic ooze. Of course there are some good movie examples that do make an effort. In Arrival, the aliens are actually pretty well thought out. Weird bodies, they experience time differently, weird language. But it was all about the language. So it kind of glosses over the biology, just like Project Hail Mary glosses over the linguistics. It was way too easy for them to communicate. But I'll give the Arrival a pass, even though for some reason they decided to have them communicate via pictures of my parents arguing. Who doesn't love a good Rorschach test? The language, by the way, must have blown some American minds who thought everyone in the universe speaks English. What do you mean they don't say, "Take me to your leader"? Anyway, at least someone opened a biology textbook. But it starts from a concept and builds down around that. In Alien, the xenomorph was great at first. Parasitic life cycle, reproduction needs a host. That's like real, actual biological thinking. But then over time, it turned into whatever the franchise needed that week. Like, every time there's a new stage, new goop, new rule, new creature, it went from evolution to a convoluted mess. The eyeball thing is pretty creative, I gotta give it to them, but it doesn't make a ton of sense. And a predator is just a big man with dreadlocks who enjoys hunting and has 5 fingers. That's not an alien species, that's a reggae fan with a hobby. Why would a space-traveling apex predator evolve the exact same kind of 6-pack abs as the guy trying to sell me peptides on Instagram? It makes no sense. Hell, we even do this in cartoons where there's no technical limitation. A drawing can look like anything, but we still get Alan the Alien. The thing is amazing, but it's deliberately unknowable. It's the best possible version of the "we're not even going to try to explain it" trope, but it's still that. So even the good examples usually land on one side or the other. But then there's Rocky, and the difference is someone actually did their homework. It's not designed top down like what would be cool and like create the whole thing around that. It's built from the ground up, and the story builds around that. And I love it. Andy Weir thought about the planet first, what it would need to support life, and then solved the challenges that life would face by adapting the species, like evolution does. Every weird thing has a reason. It doesn't work with others just because the story needs it. It works with others because if it sleeps alone, it dies. There's a reasoning behind everything. Rocky is very smart, but because it evolved without eyes in complete darkness, shielded from cosmic radiation, it just doesn't know about the electromagnetic spectrum. It just never came up. And in the book, there's actually more about that. They had a whole problem because they didn't know about relativity because of that same thing. And while it's bold to assume that an alien species would even want to talk to us while even dolphins are leaving us on red, I suppose when the stakes are your son being eaten, you'll work with whoever's available. So even that makes perfect sense. And the craziest part is, we didn't need to wait for 2026 CGI for this. Rocky is mostly practical effects. It's a puppet. We could have had properly weird, well thought out aliens this whole time if only Jim Henson had been into science fiction. Because it's not easy being green and making scientific sense at the same time, because you have to follow the logic all the way through. Or you can just give a guy some lines on his forehead and call it an alien. Rocky is amaze, and he's making everybody else look bad by reminding us that the limitation was never technology or even the budget, it was effort. And I guess I have to do this now that I've gone horizontal. Like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments what's your favorite fictional species and why.